Good morning, Full Sail students, and thank you so much for attending today. I have a very special guest speaker for you. His name is Erik Salzenstein, and he has a fantastic presentation for you and a great example of how to brand yourself on a personal level. And I've known Erik for about 2 years, and he's a very dynamic person, energetic, dedicated, and he'll be the best person to try to provide you with this information. So I'd like to introduce Erik to you. Thank you so much for your time.
Hey, appreciate that, man. Thank you. Full Sail, what is going on? Happy to be here with you guys today. How about that weather out there, huh? That's a joke. I know I'm not here to talk about public speaking, but if you ever give a presentation, you never start with weather, okay? Write that down. There you go. So Ken tells you I'm speaking on branding today, and now you know what my presentation's about. I can feel it. You guys are looking at me, judgment in the air, like, who's this guy to be speaking on branding? Yeah, I see it, especially you over there, yeah. I want to start, and I want to be transparent with you, all right? And we'll connect here. I'm going to go ahead and get this off my shoulders now. I am not an expert on branding. Yeah, credibility's in question now. Authority's in question now. And when a credibility and authority is in question, now the value that you're bringing is in question, right? And you have every right to do that. So that's my talk on branding. Credibility and authority is in question, value's in question. Thank you so much, guys, all right? Thank you. So I'll give you some context on why I'm in front of you, why I'm able to be up here talking about branding. And although I'm not an expert on branding, I have used it to get to where I am today. I've used it to be in front of you beautiful people today, and it's very, very important. So depending on where you're at, what you're going to school for, what you're looking to do afterwards, creating your brand is vital. So to give you some context, I think the best way of starting is, again, being transparent with you. I messed up. I was facing life in prison for armed robbery and what the detectives labeled as a drug deal gone bad. The judge looking down at me, disappointment on her face as if I was her own son. I had on a navy blue jumpsuit, shackles from my ankles up to my wrists and around my waist. But the thing is, I had no business being there. I came from a good home, a loving family. My mom, she taught me God. My dad, he taught me sports. I was an all-star basketball player. I shouldn't have been there. But yet there I was. Goosebumps ran down my arms from the chill of the courtroom, and the hairs on the back of my neck were standing up from the anticipation of the gavel finally slamming down. I knew I messed up, and I was about to lose my freedom because of it. After being sentenced to 4 years in state prison, the roller coaster of emotions only intensified, as you can imagine. But the truth is, I lost my freedom long before that day in the courtroom. And what I discovered is that we can be in prison without physically being in prison. We can be chained down by our addictions and destructive habits. We can be restricted by our fears and insecurities. We can be trapped by our limiting beliefs and our negative mindset. 6 months into my sentence, I realized that I had to face my biggest enemy up until that point, myself. By show of hands, have you ever felt like at times you could be your own worst enemy? It's common. 2 main ways that happens. Internally, so this is going to be your subconscious. This is going to be the story that you replay over and over again for whatever reason. these thoughts that just, I'm not good enough, I'm not smart enough, I'm not strong enough, I'm not good looking enough, I'm not funny enough. These limiting beliefs that you're not capable, that you're not able. These fears, these insecurities, that's internal. And those things are going to keep you stagnant. They're going to keep you limited. Your growth is. Now, the other is external. So external, now you have friends, family members, people that you know are not the best people to have in your life. They're not helping you in your journey. They're not contributing to your growth, but yet for some reason you still go to them. Those are external factors. Places. You find yourself going to the same places that aren't serving you for whatever reason. Comfort, having fun, it's an outlet, whatever, but you know those aren't serving you. External, right? Habits, your routines on a day-to-day basis. Are you just going through the motions, or are you taking specific steps, intentional steps to become something great, to create something great? So the talk today, yes, we're going to be on branding, all right? It's not going to be on prison, I promise you that, all right? It's going to be on branding, and we're going to talk about how when you get out of here, setting your brand up is vital to your success. But what I want you to do, what I want you to keep in the back of your mind is not so much the business side of branding. We're going to go through that. But I want you to keep in the back of your mind branding you, your brand, who you are, what you bring to the world. Are you someone who practices love and peace or hate and anger? Does your brand represent growth and abundance or limiting beliefs, negativity, stagnation? So while we go through this, I want you to think of the brand as you yourself, not just pertaining to your specialty and what you're looking to do when you get out of here. You guys with me on that? Oh, no, that ain't, oh, man. Are you guys with me on that? Yeah. There we go. All right, so we're gonna dive into this thing, brand you. So the question, how did I go from drug dealer, drug addict, full of anxiety, convicted felon, ex-con, to speaker, coach, bodybuilder? Yeah, I got on stage. I didn't wear the thong though. I had the shorts on, but I got on stage. Sponsored athlete. Out of prison, number 3rd in sales with the company I worked for across the country. Worked at a fine dining restaurant as a server. I got to 3rd in sales for the whole company for that restaurant across the country. I went into that restaurant with no wine experience. Took me over a year to get there. No wine experience. I had no experience in fine dining, but I applied my principles. I applied what I developed while I was away, and we'll get into some of that a little bit later. And it brought me to there. So what did I do? Like, how did I create that 2 years out of prison? I rebranded myself. Straight up, that's what I did. I rebranded myself. You are not going to box me in and tell me that I'm these things and that I'm only capable of this or that, or no. I rebranded myself. You know, we have a 68% of our inmates who are released from prison go back within the first 3 years. That's on average, 68%. So 7 out of 10 basically are going back within the first 3 years. Now, I know I'm only 2 years out, and I swear if y'all put any negativity on me. So now you look at those 3 that got out. I'm fairly confident that it's one of those 3, if that, it's probably below 1, is doing something significant. Because even if you curve it and don't go back into that life, man, if you don't have your mindset right, if you're not moving in a different type of direction or in a different type of style, your roof is very low, very low. So again, what did I do differently? I rebranded myself. Simple as that. So, going into branding, what does branding do for you? Why should you care about your brand, who you are, right? A lot of you are thinking, I'm going to work for either a large company, a startup. I know some of you are thinking about doing your own thing, which I highly encourage. But, right, so if you're thinking I'm going to join a company and I'm going to go through, like, what do I need to worry about my brand? So branding establishes your role. It establishes your position in the market, in your industry, and wherever it is that you're looking to go. I mean, we're at a medical party, okay? We got Frank, the cardiologist. We got Susan, we'll go with Susan. Susan's the anesthesiologist. And then we've got, Jeff is the podometrist. I think the podometrist is the foot doctor, right? Does anybody know? So, and I'm already going to forget these names. So you have a hurt ankle. Your ankle's messed up. Who are you going to go to? You're going to Susan. She's going to knock you right out. You're not going to feel any pain. She's going to put you under. No, you're going to go to the podometrist, right? So it's very clear. These people have I've established my role in the medical field. I work on hearts. I put people to sleep. I like feet. It's so simple, right? And we overthink it, but it establishes your role in whatever area you're going into. So the second thing branding does is it allows you to become an authority in that space. You've created something that is unique, that's you, and there's ways that you build that authority, and we're going to dive into that. That's really important. The last thing is it builds trust. So people, they learn and they know what to expect with you. They know what type of quality of work you're bringing to the table. They know your style of work that you're bringing to the table. They know your flair, your swag, your approach, your demeanor. These are all things that encompass your brand and make them unique, right? It builds trust. So, all right. I wish I could have written this down. First soft drink soda that comes to your mind. Wow. I was way off. All right, first energy drink that comes to your mind. Energy drink? You're drinking Gatorade for energy? I don't think there's any caffeine in Gatorade. I don't think. Who said it?
Red Bull, yeah.
Okay. So you know when you go get that Coke what it's going to taste like. They have built that trust. They have given you the expectation. You know what it is. Same thing for Red Bull. Not to say there's not other competition coming in, but they have established trust in their space. Now, I want to share something before I go on this next slide. If you ever hear a speaker, a presenter, and they tell you they got the 3 keys to something, you listen up. All right? If they say they got the 5 pillars, you really listen up. If they say they got the 21 laws, man. Have you guys heard these before? The 7 traits, the 21 laws, the 3 keys, the master key? Okay. Well, I got the 3-step key pillars to properly brand yourself, all right? So the first thing we're going to touch on today is niching down, all right? Niching down. Anybody familiar with niching down? Yeah? A little bit? Okay. So where am I? Any photographers, videographers? Okay, there we go. Perfect. So what do you like to shoot?
Mostly landscape.
Landscape?
Sunset, yeah, that type of stuff.
Awesome. What about you what's yours? Portraits. Who else? I see some other hands. Photographers in here? Okay, what do you like? A lot of things. Perfect. So this talk is exactly what you need. You're going to niche down today, my friend. All right, so we got everything. We got portraits. We got nature, landscape. Nightlife. Okay, nightlife. Perfect. Food. Listen, the food scene is big right now. Just so you know, the whole foodies, it's happening. I gotta, Susie the foodie. I know this is streaming live on YouTube. Susie the foodie. Here's your slide in right here. So, Yeah, the food scene is great. So, but at the end of it, you want to niche down to what is specific for you. You don't want to be the photographer who can do everything, because then nobody knows what you really are good at. Does that make sense? Okay. So if you go on your page, right, and you see a family shot, and then you see a mountain, and then you see black and white, and then you see a club scene, and you're like, these are all like, these are good photos. These are good photos. But they're not like great, they're just like good photos. Because you don't know what should I focus in on? Like, what is this guy really good at? Like, he's good here, he's good here, he's good here, but what's he, are you following me? So niching down is about really isolating what it is that you want to own. And I promise you, each and every one of your spaces, you guys can become six-figure photographers if you become an authority in that space. I promise you that. There is a way to build that business. I'm saying six figures because I don't want to jump too high. There's seven-figure photographers all day long. But so you can really grab onto that, zero in on your niche. Nightclub scene all day. Party scene with the festivals and everything, you can become the go-to photographer for people who are in those places. They bring you in, they'll fly you in, you get, your possibilities are, so identify, with niching down, one of the things you have to do is identify the problem that you're solving. So no matter what industry you're in, no matter what you're doing, you have a problem that you're solving for people, right? You have to zero in on that problem. Where are my web designers? Any, no? Shout out some things out. What are you guys here? What are you guys doing? What is it? Okay, same? Show production. Okay. What about over here? Let me hear some.
Entertainment business.
Okay. Oh, wow. All right, so the power of networking after this is over. Link you guys up. So you want to get clear on what problem you're solving in the market. All right, once you do that, you're able to then say, hi, my name is so-and-so, and I solve this particular problem for this particular person in this particular way. Oh man, like he knows what he's doing. She knows what she's doing. Like you have officially given yourself authority. You've officially niched down and everybody's clear on what it is that you're offering. Get specific on the value that you're adding in the space that you're working on. So start thinking in the entertainment business, where can you come in and truly add value to them? And when you niche down and get specific, because I'm sure, like, I don't know the ins and outs, but I'm sure there's a bunch of different avenues you can take in the entertainment business, no? Okay. So if you get specific on what it is that you do, what it is that you're passionate about in that space, and you run with that, now you are, what's your name?
I'm Terry.
Terry, what's your name?
Raymond.
Terry, you're the entertainment business, right? Terry and Raymond, the double duo who comes in and I need help on what it is that you do, but people then recognize that and they're like, okay, this is exactly who we need for this particular problem. Boom, boom, lead after lead, client after client, rotation, six-figure business. Boop. Okay, so last part about niching down is you have to get comfortable with losing people. You have to get comfortable with losing people. I'm gonna take you to the fitness industry real quick. So a lot of upcoming fitness people who, let's say, they're a certified personal trainer. They come from a gym, they want to start an online business. So they start an online business and in their bio they say, hey, I'm Joe, I help people get fit. Okay, all right, Joe, I got you. So here's the thing, what's gonna happen is you're gonna have people who are overweight and wanna lose weight, or overweight and wanna, lose weight, and they're gonna see Joe's and they're like, can he really help me? And then you're gonna have the skinny guy like myself at one point, who's gonna be like, yeah, like, I kinda wanna get big, and Joe, I don't really wanna get fit, I wanna get jacked. Like, can this guy really help me? And I'm questioning it. And now, you know what I do? I'm on to the next one. And then I find Bob, who's like, I help skinny guys get jacked. Yes, Bob, here's my credit card. So, like, you got to get really clear on what problem you solve, who you solve it for, niche down, all right? Find your passion, run with it. What happens is all those people who come on, what was the guy's name that helps people get jacked? Bob. Good old guy. So Bob's helping skinny guys get jacked. All the people who are overweight and want to lose weight, they are not spending any time on Bob's profile. That's fine. Stay if you'd like, but I'm okay with losing you. That's perfectly fine, because now every skinny kid who questioned the first profile because they didn't really see it fit is looking at Bob's crystal clear, this is where I need to be. And Bob's shining. Check after check after check after check. 6 figures. Bam. All right. So the second thing that we're going to talk about today with niching down is becoming an authority in your space. So there are tricks to do this, all right? You do not have to, you know the old thing, you got to work your tail off for 10 years, and then people are going to think that you're someone that can be, you're a force to be reckoned with. You know how? You know, that's parents, that's what that's what I was taught. Kind of. You don't have to do that. So, becoming an authority in the space, there's a few things you can do. Get published. If you have any opportunity to somehow get on a podcast, get on a blog, I don't care how small they are. If you have any opportunity to get on a YouTube channel with somebody as a guest, your full sale accreditation obviously gives you authority. You want to find ways of attaching different wins to your name. So if you end up with some sort of, let's say you work for like in the entertainment business, you end up finding a big name, and you were a small person on the totem pole, but somehow, some way you got up in there. You were sweeping the floors. I mean, you were doing nothing. But you were there, and you were learning, and you were networking, and that's a win, right? Like if you ever have an opportunity to sweep the floors on a big time entertainment set, like don't be humble, go. Now what happens is you can, in your bio, say that I've worked for or with that big name. You can attach yourself to that big name. Nobody needs to know what you did. Nobody has to know the ins and outs. It's not a resume. You're simply just attaching to your brand that you've worked with so-and-so. Does that make sense? So anything that you can do to build authority or social proof on like your legitimacy, you want to do. And like I said, post, podcasts, blogs, any media outlets, run with them. Get published in media. The second thing to build social proof is note and track all your wins. So I did sales for 4 years. Wow, 4 years. Prison 4. So the sales was from 2009 to 12. And yeah. So if I would have known this stuff, I would have tracked every single deal that I closed. And I'd be able to say now, if I was specializing in sales, and I mean, if you're an entrepreneur, you work in sales, just so you know. So anybody who says that you don't want to work in sales, if you're going to be selling yourself, you're in sales, okay? Just so you know, news flash there for you. And anybody who doesn't like marketing, sorry, you're in marketing too, all right? I would be able to say, I've closed X many thousands of deals. And then I would have had all the amounts that I sold. I would have added up those amounts, and I'd be able to say I've closed over $1.5 million in deals. I don't know what that number is. I'm fairly certain it's in 7 figures. And be able to say that. But because I wasn't aware of this stuff, I didn't look at it like that. I looked at it like I was clocking in, I'm doing my job, I'm making a paycheck, I'm gonna keep it moving. I didn't have this type of mindset. This right here is vital. So no matter what you go out and do, track every single win that you do. Track every single client that you have. After you get done with those first 50 free photo shoots, you ask every one of those people that you shot, if they were people. Yours is a little bit more of a challenge. We'll figure that out. But if you're shooting, you ask that person, hey, can you give me a quick testimonial on what you thought about working with me? Can you just give me a real quick, just send me in a text message what you thought about me as a photographer. How'd you feel before, how'd you feel after? Before and after is always what you want to go for. But now you just add those up. So now on your Instagram and on your Facebook, you do your call to action. Hey, if you're looking for a photographer to shoot this type of style, this style of shot, here's what I'm available. I would love to help you out. If you're sick of dealing with photographers who you got to like find their pain points, but it's another topic, man. All right, so then at the end, what do? So after you do your pitch, what do? Whoop, you insert that social proof. You insert Sally, who said, what's your name? Who? Jordan. Oh, I thought you said Drake. Okay, like, yo! All right, so Jordan, you're gonna insert Sally's social proof, testimony. Boop! Sally's like, I loved working with Jordan. He was awesome, so friendly, so professional. The shots came out perfect. Now, everybody who saw this line that you sent up, this pitch, now sees Sally, and Sally's like, yo, Jordan's legit, right? And now they're ready to move forward. Credit card. 6 figures. Boop. Shameless plug. My Instagram is at Salzenstein. That's Saul, S-A-L, Zinstein, S-T-E-I-N. Let me become an authority. Go ahead, tag me. Let me know how good I did today, right? And you'll see I'm going to put it to use on my story. I'm going to throw it right back on my story. All right? And you just have to keep doing this. And people recognize, like, this person's good. Like, this person's legit. This person can help me. So the last thing that you want to do for the authority piece is you want to be investing in yourself. So for you to become an authority in your space, it means you have to, this is, how long before you guys graduate? Let me get some yeet. 7 months, yeah. Okay, 6, 7 months. Is that everybody or 3 months? Overachiever, huh? What? Okay, so we're getting there, right? Your education does not stop when you get out of here, all right? It doesn't at all. You invest in masterminds, you invest in coaches, you invest in workshops, you continue to push yourself, and you continue to grow, sharpen your sword, so again, you become the authority in your space, whatever space that is. Remember, we already niched down, right? So the third key here, so we've done niche down, we've done become an authority. The last part is creating your signature talk. This is about your language. This is about getting very clear on what it is that you offer and how you describe that to people. Because this is where things can get blurry, right? Like you got to be able to, they call it an elevator pitch. You got to be able to, from first floor to the top. Anybody heard of an elevator pitch? Yeah? Okay. So from first floor to the top, you need to be able to describe your business and what you do. So for you, you are a personal brand. And when you get out of here, you're going to have, whether it's you're starting a company right away, you're working for other entrepreneurs, you become an intrapreneur, depending on what your attack plan is, you have to be able to describe to not only the person you're working, the people you want to work with, but also the prospects, your potential clients, what it is that you do. And it comes down to languaging. So my signature talk is called From Prison to Prosperity. That's the name, that's the title of my signature talk. It gives everybody a very good idea of what they're going to get when they hire me as a speaker, right? And so when you're able to, like, if someone asks me, hey, so what do you speak on? So I've got a signature talk, From Prison to Prosperity, and I share with the audience how I completely transformed my life while incarcerated in some dark times. And I use that time to create a 4-step process of transformation using the acronym ROCK. And I take my audience and my clients through that 4-step process of transformation. They're like, oh, this guy's legit, you know? And you can create that. You can create that. So I have an hour-long talk from Prison to Prosperity, one geared toward schools and one geared toward businesses, right? Now, here's the thing. I was just in a competition out in Denver, Advance Your Reach Live. So they do it once a year, and in this, it's a workshop. It's a 3-day workshop. But in this workshop, there is a speak-off, right? So we got like 650 people in the room, and you first throw you have to boil down, oh God. They said the fire alarm could go off because I guess the building got struck by lightning yesterday. So I think we're good. All right, so you first have to take your signature talk, whatever it is, 45 minutes, an hour, and you have to boil it down to 3 minutes. So I took my hour-long talk, got it down to 3 minutes, sent in the video. We have 100 contestants, $2,000 to enter. Goes back to investing in yourself. Send in your 3-minute video, and the team looks at it. They cut 50 in half. 50's done. Now, even if you lose, you still get a lot of value from losing. Like if you submit an entry, you're still getting $2,000 worth of value all day long as far as coaching and some VIP at the workshop, et cetera. So I made the first cut. All right, so now I'm top 50. There you go. There you go, Jordan. All right, so now we go out to Denver, and we the top 50 goes into the semifinals. So we go in a room very similar to this. Not as big as this, but it wasn't the full auditorium. It was there was about 100 people in the room. And you give your 3-minute talk, and then the judges basically critique you. The judges let you know, they don't give you feedback, but that's when you're being judged for the finals, all right? So I made it to the finals, top 10. So now top 10 comes on stage, and you have to now take your signature talk that you went from an hour to 3 minutes, add 2 more minutes. So now I add 2 more minutes, and I have a 5-minute talk. I'm in front of 650 people, 75 event planners who have access to stages all over the country. It's live on Facebook Live, so however many people are watching on Facebook Live. I'm coming out here. I've changed my talk 2 times, and I only had 24 hours to add the 2 minutes. So now I'm giving a 5-minute talk. Well, I won. Ended up winning out of the top 10. All right? Thank you. Appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Absolutely incredible experience. But what I learned through the Advance Your Reach program, right, crafting your signature talk and how this is going to apply to you is no matter, you have to be, the time frame doesn't matter. The time frame doesn't. You need to be able to pitch yourself 10 minutes and stretch it, 15 minutes, 2 minutes, 30 seconds. What do you do? Get very, very clear on what do you do. Get clear on your languaging, get clear on your messaging, get clear, step into your voice, step into your confidence, who you are, what you offer. Get very, very clear on that. Because if you think you're just like here going through motions, you're gonna get looked at like you're just going through the motions. You're gonna be another person that's applying here. But when you get clear on your messaging and what you offer, and you step in that room and you speak it, people listen. People will listen. And now you're adding value, and now you've got their attention. So it's all about, again, what makes you stand out, being able to word that. So the deeper, when you share stories, part of crafting your signature talk, there's power in story. If I would have came up here and just spoke on branding, half of you would have checked out. Not to say some of you haven't checked out. It happens. No hard feelings. But if I would have just spoke on branding, I wouldn't have half of your attention the way I do now. Because you guys are like, yo, this guy went to prison. Like, he was pulling on my heartstrings. The judge was looking at, like, that's power of story. And each and every one of you have a very unique story. I don't know your upbringing. I don't know your trials and tribulations. I don't know what you've been through. Own them. Own them. They have made you who you are. Your upbringing, the challenges that you faced, they are what give you strength. They are not there to hurt you. They're there to serve you. If I can take my story and do what I'm doing now with it, imagine what you can do with yours in the position that you're at right now. Own that. No, I'm not done. Oh, you want to clap for that? Yeah, let's clap for that. Come on, bring it up. Woo! So 6 months into my sentence, I realized that I had to face my biggest enemy up until that point, myself. And like we agreed, at times you felt like you could be your own worst enemy, right? Well, I made a decision that I was going to do whatever it took to change my life. And for the next 3.5 years, I relentlessly pursued all things growth. I discovered a hidden talent for public speaking I had no idea existed. I was published in a local newspaper for a speech contest against 2 other prisons. Started and set up and ran workshops in hopes that other inmates would also make a decision to break free. They didn't like the language, inmates breaking free. That was not good, but we went for that, right? Because we developed that break-free mindset. You were not going to keep me down. You were not going to, okay, you tell me I had to do this, this, and this, day in and day out. Well, guess what? As soon as I got back to my bunk, I was in it. I was going after what I felt. I was walking in my future image that I was creating for myself. Each and every one of you today are creating the steps that you're taking today are setting you up for the future self that you want. If you want the house on the lake, and not to say that everybody, we don't have to up materials, but like just if you want the house on the lake, if you want the nice cars, you have to be taking steps today that are in alignment with where you want to be in the future. You cannot expect to get to this grandiose vision if your steps aren't in alignment with that. You know what question I used to ask myself all the time while I was inside is, am I doing what my future self would be doing? Used to meditate twice a day, right? We do breakfast at 4:30 in the morning, every morning, right? So we get back from breakfast, everybody go to sleep. Now it's quiet, like so I use that time. And I'd go in the day room and I'd be by myself and I'd meditate. 3 to 5 guards must have thought I was like, what's this guy doing? But I didn't care. I was in my zone. 3 to 5 minutes every morning, 3 to 5 minutes every night. I would meditate on my future self, what that person looked like. I changed the way that I walked because I told myself that my future self would walk with his shoulders back, his head high. He would look people in the eyes. He'd say, "How are you today?" So I literally changed the way that I walked while I was inside because it all matters. It's your brand. You're creating brand you. So whatever you are now, whatever you've been through is a part of your brand. You have to step into that wholeheartedly every day. I want to end with talking about being in alignment. If you don't have a list of your core values written down, I want you to make that list today. 3 to 5 core values that you stand on, that you want to walk in. Integrity, honesty, confidence. I don't know what they are to you. You have to decide what resonates with you and what means the most to you. Write those core values down. And every day you should be asking yourself at the end of the day, did I walk in alignment with those values? That's the 4th thing that I discuss with my clients is know your values. That's the K of the rock process. Know your values. You have to have those down. Create those now, right now. And they may change over years. That's perfectly fine. But know your values and walk in alignment with them. Create the brand right now that you want the world to look at you with. Through that lens, your brand, the brand that's going to make the most impact and feels right in your heart. I promise you, if you do these things, if you niche down, if you become an authority in your space, if you get clear on your messaging and language that you're going to present to people, and if you walk in alignment with your values, with the image that you want for your future self, I promise you, you're going to get them 6 figures ching. But you're going to be feeling really, really good about yourself. And I promise you, momentum is going to build and build and build. And you're going to create something that you had no idea you could create. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody, for showing up today. I really appreciate it. I hope that you enjoyed Erik's presentation. Let's give him another round of applause. Thank you, Erik. Great job. Yes. I hope that you all have a wonderful day, and stay dry out there if it's raining.
Thank you, guys.
Take care.
You guys all better follow me on social media, like right now. So, yeah, man, absolutely. Yeah, I appreciate you. Thank you. There you go. I love it. Thank you, man. I'm going to be posting another story today. So.